Alright, we're live. Yeah. Okay.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
What we do here is go back.
Hey everyone, Steven Jensen here, and as you can see in audio form again today, we got Jessi Davin down below, and obviously a lot going on with Jessi still, but luckily we had some free time. I could hear all the chaos before the podcast started, but we're good to go. We're probably going to be going for about an hour or so today, y'all, so probably a shorter stream. So, as always, the super chats and donations will take priority. We're going to pretty much run through the WrestleMania card and give our predictions. And once again, super chats, donations. Super chats go right through YouTube. Donation link is in the description of this video. And if you want your voice heard, you want predictions out there, if you have any questions, whatever it is, feel free. That's the place to do it. And we're still going to keep our eye on the chat, as we're going along as well. But before we get started, Jessi, how you doing today? Thank you, Jessi. I appreciate that. And it isn't, necessarily hard work. I'll be honest there. It's just a lot of watching wrestling. So, which I enjoy doing. So, this is the best time of the year for me. But for anyone who may have missed it, I know it would be a little late now because they're, one day away from, all these shows being over. But myself and John Mosley, who I do the MMA show with on the Fight Talk podcast feed. So, those of you who listen to this show, but the audio version over at Fight Talk, I do a weekly MMA show with my friend John Mosley, who's a commentator for, he's a commentator and ring announcer. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, y'all. I had Jessi, she just gave me the nicest compliment. And,
Yeah, I'll say it again.
Okay. Sorry
Okay.
for that, y'all. We're a little rusty. This is a last minute thrown together. Wanted to get this out there for you guys type thing. So sorry about that. We got Jessi now.
No. Yes. Okay. So he asked me how I was doing, and I said I'm doing fine, but I wanted to give a shout out to Steven because he has been working his behind off. He's been working tirelessly to cover basically all independent wrestling going on this weekend, which is a lot. And if you aren't following Steven on Twitter and you are a fan of independent wrestling, I don't know what the heck is wrong with you because you absolutely need to follow him. He is covering literally everything. And if you are a Fightful Select member, you get the Weekender, which he covers literally everything other than the main shows that everyone watches. So you need to follow Steven, and I just wanted to give him a shout out because this is a big week for him. And yeah, so that's what I said. I think that's everything.
Well, I do, yeah. You nailed it a second time as well. No, I appreciate that, and like I was saying, I just like doing it because I love that part of the independent of that wrestling world. Independent wrestling is just so much fun for me. Just discovering new talent and watching their progression and seeing kind of where they wind up and land over time and stuff. And we did a free preview of the Weekender that y'all can listen to. It's on the Fightful podcast feed. So iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you listen to Fightful podcasts. Normally it's behind that paywall that Jessi was mentioning at FightfulSelect.com. We did over 5 hours of...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, we did 2 shows that we split into 3.5 hours and about 2 hours. And we talked every single wrestling match that we knew was booked for the Collective and for IWTV Showcase of the Independents. So we went through everything. We highlighted as many people as we possibly could. And we got a lot of great feedback for those episodes. So I'm anyone who wants to check that out now, I know there's only 1 day left of shows as far as on the indie side, but if you missed something or if there's anything you were on the fence about or there's any talent that you want to know more about, I highly recommend those 2 episodes over there at the Fightful podcast feeds because we really put a lot into trying to highlight as many people as we could there.
That's awesome. And chat, I see you. I just can't type because my baby likes to stand up. And so my hands are full, but I see you. Hey, Corey. Hey, Jackson. Hey, Daniel. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Corey, for being awesome. And Jackson, I hope you have fun at WrestleCon. So
yeah,
just wanted to shout out.
WrestleCon, they put on great events, so you're going to have a great time.
I know.
Corey, always good to see you. Alonzo, always good to see you. Jackson Alonzo, always good to see you. Igor, I'm pretty sure I said that right this time. I think I remembered from the last time you were here. Anyone else I'm missing in the chat, feel free to say what's up. I'll give anyone a shout out that I see in the chat today, and then once again we'll deep dive on any super chats or donations. And before we get into it, I just really quickly wanted to mention, today is WrestleMania Night 1, tomorrow's WrestleMania Night 2, and WrestleRumble.com is a place to go if you want to win big prizes this weekend.
Yes.
Yes. We have WrestleRumble.com, the WrestleMania Pick'em contest. 1 entry for $10, 3 entries for $20, 5 entries for $30. You basically fill out a big form of like winners and losers matches. You fill out, there's going to be a stipulation based stuff, whole bunch of questions. Basically, you can get paid $1,000 if you know about professional wrestling this weekend. First place, $1,000. Second place, $100. Third place, $100 as well. Sorry. So $1,000 for first, $100 for second and third. A total of $1,200. Just for knowing. We can hear Savannah as well. She wants to win $1,200.
Yes, she's excited.
Yeah, so am I, because you better believe I'm doing an entry, Jessi's doing an entry. Most of the people that you see here or hear here on the podcast feed, we all enter these contests, and we try our luck, And I mean, I can't stress it enough. You can win big money. Just join that WrestleMania Pick'em contest at WrestleRumble.com. And not only that, they have 2 giant belt giveaways right now. $1. It's so crazy how they do these, but for $1, somebody's going to win a 1 of 500 limited edition Stone Cold Steve Austin Legacy title belt. For those of you seeing it on the screen, it looks badass. For those of you who are listening to the audio version, it's basically a silver and metal looking, it's almost like the old Smoking Skull logo that Steve Austin used to have on his old custom belt. And the thing's badass. Like I said, it's 1 of 500 special edition. It could be yours for literally $1. And then they have a triple belt giveaway for 3 different winners. Also, $1. Like, no joke. You put $1 in, you could win one of these title belts. First place, quote-unquote first place, all 3 are winners of title belts. But first place is going to be getting a custom WrestleMania Moments belt, which is really cool. I've never seen them before. But
Yeah.
like the middle plate is Daniel Bryan holding up both title belts after WrestleMania 30. And some of the side plates I can see, it looks like Steamboat and Savage on there, Hogan and Austin. I mean, they have like major WrestleMania moments on all the side plates. So really cool title. Second place is going to get a replica title of the Smoking Skull Steve Austin belt. And third place is going to get the Brahma Bull Rock custom belt that never made it onto television, but we've seen it in the video games. The Rock's talked about it. Really badass looking title belt. So once again, WrestleRumble.com. All of our prediction podcasts are always sponsored, of course, by WrestleRumble. And get in on their contests and follow them on Twitter at WrestleRumble. Stay up to date with all their stuff because they have insane giveaways all the time.
Yes.
Yes. So, all right, we got Kenny the Bastard in the chat. What's up, everyone? Good to see everybody in here today. So, Jessi, before we get into the actual predictions, on a scale of like 1 to 10, what is your excitement level, would you say, heading into WrestleMania?
I would say for the card, compared to other WrestleManias, it's kind of a little bit lower just because I feel like the build this year just hasn't been as good. I feel like the promos have been fantastic for some of them, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because of what's going on in my life right now. I just don't feel as hype. I don't feel like they're as big of a deal matches. But, however, because this is the first WrestleMania back with fans since all of this happened, I'm super excited and I'm super invested and super interested to see how fans react, see how emotional the wrestlers get wrestling in front of fans. I feel like they're really going to put on their best performances tonight. I really do, because they're going to be in front of fans. They're going to have that adrenaline flowing again. They're going to be hype. They're going to want to put on a show. I think that they are going to be ready to put on one hell of a WrestleMania, and I'm super excited. I'm super stoked for that. So while the card necessarily isn't something that I'm like, yeah, super hype about, I am super, super, super excited for this WrestleMania for just so many other different layers of reasons. But I am scared about the weather because we're supposed to have severe weather tonight and we're supposed to have bad weather tomorrow. So hopefully the weather will just chill out for a little bit. We can get a good WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the weather holds up too, because like I don't know if y'all can hear through the mic at all, but like I'm getting some really bad, not like super bad weather, but like it's been raining fairly heavily even where I'm at. So, but I will say, like, I'm the same way as you. As far as the card, like, on paper, I'm not excited for, like, a lot of it, but I am really excited for, like, just to see and hear the fans, like, to see their arms moving around in the crowd and to hear the, like, actual, like, legitimate excitement. I'm just hoping WWE, and I have no reason to, like, speculate that they'll do this. I'm just saying in the back of my mind, knowing how WWE's been, like, I'm just really hoping they haven't gotten too comfortable with this past year and figuring out how to manipulate all the crowd noise to the level they have.
They did it at TakeOver.
Oh, did that? Well, but they didn't have a crowd at TakeOver.
Yes, they did. They had there were people there.
Some. But I mean, like, if they, kind of what I'm saying is if they had, like, I don't know how many people they're having at WrestleMania, maybe, like, maybe 30, 40,000, something like that, maybe?
They said 20,000.
Okay.
It's 20,000 at WrestleMania, right, Michael? Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing, like, 20% capacity, probably, give or take. It probably holds, like, 80 total or something like that.
Yeah, they call it Ray J here. I don't know why. It's so obnoxious. But, yeah, Ray J holds, like, 80,000, I think.
Okay, and I'm really bad at math, so, like, my percentage might be really off on that. But my point is, like, knowing how the WWE is, I could totally see a scenario, potentially.
65,890 is the capacity.
Oh, okay. It's actually a smaller venue than I thought, but that's still a lot. That's still a lot of seats.
Yeah.
But I imagine. I mean, I hope they don't do this. But this past year, because we've talked about it throughout the year, like the Retribution storyline being the best example of stuff that I just don't think they would have kept going with if there was fans there, because the reactions would have just been so not what they wanted. But, like, WWE now could probably, if they wanted to, just kind of drown out the crowd, whatever the authentic crowd noise is, and just pipe in cheers, boos, like, to control the narrative of, like, how the audience sounds reacting to people. Like, I'm hoping they don't do it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of worried about...
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Drew McIntyre came out and, like, the crowd starts booing instead of cheering. And WWE's just like, all right, let's drown that down and pump up the cheers because we want it to sound like people are cheering him. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good point. I wonder if they have gotten comfortable and complacent with manipulating the crowd audio. But I wonder how easily that will be done when they get back to, like, full capacity.
Right. I mean, you basically have to, like, not be showing the crowd, too. You'd have to be cutting to angles where, like, you couldn't see people, like, physically, like, with their thumbs down and booing, but it sounds like they're cheering. Dylan, what's up, man? Welcome back to the chat. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that, but, like, they've been able to do that kind of stuff for a long time. Even, like, when Goldberg was around in WCW, they'd, like, pipe in, like, all the Goldberg. I mean, people were chanting Goldberg, but they were piping in extra Goldberg chants on top of it and stuff. But that all being said, I really just want to hear... like, a large amount of fans all together cheering and booing stuff and just having a good time and being a part of the show. And yeah, so from that aspect, I'm right there with you. I just have that in the back of my mind where I'm like, just keep that, when we're watching these shows, just keep in mind, if something doesn't seem quite right, that they have the ability to do what we just talked about. So, because that's my biggest fear. Like, I'm going to start off with that match for our predictions, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an opening match, I think.
I think you're right. And do you think we get Drew McIntyre walking out and, like, first, like as far as to get the biggest crowd reaction possible, or do you think it's possible that they put Hulk Hogan out there first for that?
Ooh, I feel like Drew McIntyre deserves to walk out first because he had to win the championship last year at WrestleMania with no crowd. I mean, if you watch that whole WWE 24 documentary about how he was, like, in Scotland, they were like, you need to leave now because you're not going to be able to get back. They're about to put restrictions up and all that. And he still can't have his family there. So I feel like Drew McIntyre deserves to have that pop because obviously if he does defeat Bobby Lashley, he's going to be instantly booed. Yep. So I feel like put Drew McIntyre out there first. Please, God, don't put Hulk Hogan, but they probably will put Hulk Hogan first.
Well, no, I'm with you, though. I think the smart move is definitely Drew McIntyre coming out first. And I have that same fear. I tweeted about that yesterday. I got that same fear about, because the fan, WWE's put McIntyre in a very strange spot because they spent this whole last year building him as their next top babyface, and he was the champion almost all year, and he did a really good job. Like the crowd and the COVID and all that stuff, like he had no control over that, obviously. So like he worked his butt off. Like he went out there and he's been putting on really hard hitting matches and doing the best that he possibly can. Like I am a fan of his hard work for sure, but like you said, the second he pins Lashley for that 3 count and wins that title back, they're going to be back at square one, because they're going to be fighting this uphill battle, because now Lashley has the title and everybody likes Lashley as the champion and people don't want to see him lose it.
I know. And then they broke up the Hurt business. It's like, oh.
The only reason they did that, I mean, like, it's the obvious thing to say, but like, there's no other reason outside of Lashley's losing this match and you don't want people cheering Lashley than to break up the Hurt business, because everybody liked that, and then also have Baron Corbin like helping him out, because nobody likes Baron Corbin. So they squashed the group that everyone liked and then added in the one person that like nobody wants to see with him. So
pain, nothing but pain.
But I think we're both on the same page though, as far, and just for the record, the Hulk Hogan thing I brought up only because it would be a really cheap way of them getting, because like there's still a lot of people that don't want to see Hulk Hogan there, but if he's the first person that comes out and everyone's ready to just be going nuts to hear entrance music and stuff, that's almost a way of like cheaply sliding him in there to not get booed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because they know he's problematic.
Well, especially if he came out to like the NWO music or something, because like they just went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, people would be marking out pretty hard, I think. But that all being said, as far as a prediction, I think we're both taking Drew McIntyre here.
Yes, I can't see. I would love Bobby Lashley to retain, but I would be shocked if they actually let him keep the belt. I really do think that Drew McIntyre gets his babyface comeback moment. I feel like that's the whole reason he lost the title to begin with, so he could win it back at WrestleMania.
I will agree 1,000% with all of that, and I super agree with the. I want my heart wants Bobby Lashley to retain that title, but like, this is all set up for Drew to get that belt, and it's basically a big redo of last year. It's like their chance at. Because we never saw crowds with McIntyre as the champion. We do not know if, like, the live crowd actually likes him or not. Like, that's what's wild about all this. It's been a year. So,
wow.
Yeah, anyways, we'll move on from that. But I do expect that to be a really, really good match. Regardless of the outcome, they're going to go out there and they're going to... Every match they've had against each other, whether it was an Impact or WWE, has always been really good. So,
yes.
After that, in a match that really could go a whole bunch of different ways. We have Bad Bunny and I'll highlight these so people know what we're talking about. We got Bad Bunny and Damian Priest taking on The Miz and John Morrison. What do you think? We've talked quite a bit over like the months about the involvement of Bad Bunny, and I missed a lot of his promo he cut on Raw, but I'm seeing a lot of great feedback about it. But what do you think about this one? Like, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Bad Bunny team gets the win, but do you expect this to kind of surprise people? Do you think we get kind of like a Pat McAfee Shaq situation with Bad Bunny, or do you think it's like maybe don't have expectations that high?
I think given what's been said about Bad Bunny and his dedication to professional wrestling and him moving to Orlando to train, the fact that, you know, the people backstage are impressed with him and his dedication, and the fact that they allowed, even though it was probably washable paint, they allowed paint on his, what is it, $3.6 billion vehicle? Like, that's his dedication to wrestling, and seeing him cutting these promos in English really well, which is awesome, cool. I think this will surprise a lot of people. I think this will shut up a lot of the people that were like, who is Bad Bunny? I don't care. Who is this? I think it'll shut a lot of those people up. I think this match will earn the respect of those people, and I think people will be surprised. I really hope so. I hope it's fun. I think putting Bad Bunny with someone like John Morrison, who we know can sell like really well, is going to be a big, big thing in this match. Damian Priest is amazing. I love him. The Miz is The Miz. But yeah, I fully expect this to surprise a lot of critics. And I think it'll be fun. I really do. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people will be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going into this with low expectations, but only because I do not know what to expect out of Bad Bunny. But
Yeah.
I think that it's one of those things. If he goes out there and even does maybe like 3 to 5 just really solid spots, I'll be totally happy with it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like with Shaq. Like he didn't do a whole lot, but what he did perfect. And
Yes.
you know what I mean? Pat McAfee's kind of a different type of animal because I think he's actually a really good pro wrestler. Like I think
Yeah.
he could like literally just slide in and be doing it full time and no one would know he was like new to it. Just a natural with like super athletic ability. But Shaq I can kind of say the same about, to be honest. Like he really impressed me with his match, that tag match he had with Cody and Velvet and Jane Cargill. So and I'm with you too with the Bad Bunny thing. The guy's a longtime fan, and like people were saying in the chat, I didn't know who Bad Bunny was before he got to the WWE, but like the guy has a massive fan base. I mean, millions upon millions of followers, and he appeals to like so many different demographics too. Like,
Yes.
there's all these like non-English speaking fans too that are probably watching because they're like, oh wait, like Bad Bunny's on this? Like I don't even care if I know English, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching because it's Bad Bunny, you know? So yeah, I don't fault the WWE for the involvement either. Like it's a smart move, and once again, if he's a longtime fan, good for him. It'd be the same as like if Wale were to wrestle. I'd be stoked for him because I know he's a longtime fan, you know?
Yes.
We got some super chats to take care of. Thank y'all so much. Kenny the Bastard says, taking myself 6 chances to win the 1G. Thank you, Kenny, for signing up. I'm assuming you mean over there at WrestleRumble.com. So, thank you. Hey, hit them up at WrestleRumble and say that Steven and Jessi sent you over to the website. They always love to kind of know where people are coming from. Corey says, lots of love to you, Jessi. Well, thanks, Corey. I really appreciate that, man.
Thank you, Corey.
No, Corey's a good dude. Me and him actually talk in the direct messages fairly often about wrestling and stuff. But yeah, thank you very much for sending the money. Because even
Corey
though
knows so much about wrestling. It's
he does.
Amazing.
He does. It's great. There's all these little hidden gems from like wrestlers that I've watched or companies that I've watched, but like I didn't know like certain people wrestled certain places and stuff, and like his wrestling knowledge is very very impressive, and it's a lot of these deep dive, deep cut type things that are like I would have never known a lot of this stuff happened, but he hits me up with links to stuff, and yeah, it's good dude. So thank you very much, Corey. Even though you said lots of love to Jessi only, I get half that money, so I appreciate that. No, I'm obviously, y'all know I'm just kidding around. But
yes,
after that, we have a match that I'm actually really looking forward to. So, we got the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods taking on AJ Styles and Omos. Is it Omos or Omos? I think they're saying Omos now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Michael, do you know if they're saying Omos or Omos? Omos.
Omos. I think you're right too, because it did change over time, the pronunciation. Yes. But I think Michael's got it. Omos. The reason I'm looking forward to this one, like me and you have been saying, if Omos can wrestle at all, push the guy to the moon. But we don't know yet. So
big man.
What do you think about this one? Like, who do you think wins, and do you think that Omos goes out there and impresses us, or do you think he goes out there and pulls like a great Khali and everybody's like, oh no, what just happened here? Why did we just waste all this time?
Here I'll answer your question with another question. Do you think Omos turns on AJ Styles tonight?
No, So here's what I think. I think that they're gonna win the tag team titles, and I think they're gonna have maybe a pretty long run with them. And it's all like AJ I think has like 1 year left on his WWE deal. So I think what they're gonna be doing, just speculation. And hey, Sissy in the chat, say
just like
give little Roman a little pet for me. Is he? I think basically the remainder of AJ Styles' WWE career, unless he resigns like for an extension, is gonna be. The goal is going to be getting Omos to a spot of being a top guy. So, I think AJ and Omos are the champions for a little while. At some point, one turns on the other. And I don't know if it's like because of the tag team or maybe you know, Styles or Omos actually wind up winning the world title, and because of that, one gets jealous of the other, and that's the turn. But I think this will lead to a high-profile AJ Styles versus Omos singles match, where Omos is AJ's just gonna go out there and make him look absolutely incredible, because he's gonna be able to just bump all over the place for him and make Omos just look like the best thing we've ever seen. I think. So that's my long term thing that I think they're doing here. But Jessi, knowing WWE also, for all we know, they do the turn at WrestleMania. But I think inevitably we're all on the same page as far as like we will get AJ versus Omos soon enough, but don't know when when the split will actually happen.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then we got another super chat from Kenny the Bastard. It says AJ Almas win, but AJ takes the pin from Almas. That's very AJ Styles. That's very chicken shit heel AJ Styles. That's something he would definitely do. I like that. And I agree with you, Steven. I feel like they win the tag team titles tonight. And for WWE's sake and for the tag team title's sake, I really hope that they do have a long run, because they've been playing hot potato with those damn tag team titles forever. And it's like, I feel like no tag team can hold on to them for more than a week. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that's true. And in the New Day, obviously I love the New Day, but it's like, how many times can they do kind of the same thing over and over again? Although it is cool that, like, it's almost like Charlotte Flair. Like, they're always, no matter what, like, they could be losing for months, but if they get a shot at the tag titles, like, they could win. Like, it's always believable that the New Day is going to be the tag team champions. So, I do like that aspect of it. But yeah, I think everyone's on the same page too. Like, we just need to see what Omos looks like in the ring, because up to this point he's looked impressive. But he's also had the advantage of not having an actual live crowd there, having the chance to do retakes, different types of camera angles where they're getting right underneath him, so like he looks a lot more impressive than it might actually look from like a hard cam and stuff. So like I don't know how they're going to present him, but if he goes out there and, like I said, if he can wrestle at all, like if he can run the ropes and he can throw some big punches and some choke slams, that's all he's going to need to do. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And
I completely agree with everything you've said.
Yeah. So and me and you have both been saying, if this guy can wrestle at all, put the world title on him. So
yes, push him to the moon.
Yes.
I don't care if he has one move. Let him do that one move.
I watch him like go out there and hit like a 619. Everyone's like, what?
That would be incredible. I would pop so hard for that.
Kogan, what's up, man? I see you in the chat. He said he's wearing a Wolfpack shirt today as well. I'm rocking that NWO because they went in the Hall of Fame this year. So, Magnificent Matt. I don't know if we've seen you in the chat before, Magnificent Matt, but welcome to our chat. Feel free to join us whenever. And just a reminder, everybody, we've been getting some super chats coming in. We really appreciate that. That's the best way to guarantee we read your predictions out loud and answer your questions. And these all go on my Fight Talk podcast audio feed. So even if you're not here live, people watch the replays, people listen to the audio. So a lot more people will hear your questions and your predictions if you do send those super chats and donations. Moving on, we have the match. Oh, and as far as the prediction, I think we both took Styles and Omos.
Yes, we did.
Perfect. After that, we got the match that I'm probably looking forward to the least on this show.
Yeah.
We have
Actually, I'm looking forward to this the most just because I want to see how cringe it is.
True. We have Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. This is in a steel cage. Now, admittingly, I have watched very little of WWE Raw since their last pay-per-view, and I have watched none of SmackDown, except for I did watch the Andre Battle Royal last night. But this, from what I can tell, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is a feud built off of hopscotch and Nickelodeon slime.
Yes, which is why I honestly thought they were going to do some tie-in with Nickelodeon, just because the way they built it like 2 5-year-olds would build a match for WrestleMania. It was a child build to WrestleMania, like baby WrestleMania. It was hopscotch, slime, report cards, dunce caps. It was like, what are we doing? Choo-choo noises. Like, what is happening?
That too. I forgot about it. I edited that like really quick video.
Cannot wait for them to try and do that choo-choo noise so loud at Raymond James Stadium, and all the people that live around there are like, "What was that? What was that train noise?" Just pipe in the loudest train noise you can. Oh my God, it'll be so funny.
That would
God,
be
I'll be
funny.
laughing.
Especially
The
if people
only
don't expect it and they're like scared.
Yeah. They'll be like, "Oh no, there's a train! Oh my God!" WWE gets sued for inciting a riot,
Oh man.
mass panic. They think a
I
train's coming through.
I couldn't believe when I heard that the first time. I was
I
like,
thought it was a joke.
same. I thought someone edited like
I
because I
did
saw it on
too.
Twitter. Yeah. Oh man. And then like I edited like the "Come on, ride the train" onto it, and
Yes,
I just thought it was so it just so goofy. Like
so goofy.
yeah. Oh man.
It's so Shane McMahon though. Goofy. When I think of Goofy in wrestling, I think of Shane McMahon.
Yeah. And the sad
I
thing
really
is,
do.
like, historically speaking, I love Shane McMahon. He's like one of
I
my
know, right?
favorites. But
Right?
this is just so cringe. In the
Oh, and then when
Nickelodeon
he had that
thing,
knee injury, when he faked that
mm,
knee injury, when he was like
yep,
sparring,
yep. I saw that on Twitter too. That's right. That looks so
I memed
fake.
that hard. I memed that real hard.
Yeah. That was bad. I
It was
think
bad.
the Nickelodeon time would have been great though, especially because we've talked
Right.
about how awesome that whole NFL on Nickelodeon stuff
Exactly.
is.
Exactly. That was great. And I honestly thought that WWE saw that and they saw like dollar signs, which they probably should have. Like, in all honesty, had they done a Nickelodeon tie-in for this match, I would not have blamed them, given what they saw in the NFL and how successful that was and how cool it was and how fun it was. But no, we got a steel cage match out of this, which okay, um,
Yeah,
that
I
adds up.
I literally think they were just like, all right, we did Shane and Hell in a Cell against Undertaker a couple of years ago, so we don't want to like go that far, but like we need something for Shane to jump off of and or
What
get
about that
thrown
pirate
through.
ship? Really?
That's true. Kevin Owens might have dibs on that though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about that last year wanting to jump off the pirate ship, but yeah, I mean, as far as a prediction, there's one or two ways I can see this going. Either we get like a St. Valentine's Day Massacre situation when the Big Show debuted and like literally threw McMahon through the cage and he won because he technically hit the floor first, but like, or sorry, Austin won rather because Big Show threw him through the cage on accident, and
Oh yeah.
or you know, Braun's like laying in the ring or on a table or something, and Shane like crashes and burns super hard, and then Strowman hits him with a power slam or something. I don't know. I'm taking Strowman, but like I think we all know exactly what to expect out of this.
I mean, all signs point to Braun Strowman winning, but honestly, I'd like to see him lose.
Same. Oh, if it was my personal
I
choice, sure.
Yeah,
That's sad
I
though.
it's really sad when you want to pick the part timer. I mean, I don't know, but I guess my formal prediction is going to be Mr. Nipple Piercings himself, Braun Strowman.
Does he have
Uh,
nipple piercings?
yes, yes, and it's all I can think about every time I see him because it's something you can't unsee.
Does he? He doesn't wear those on TV, does he?
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does. I didn't even realize. Wow.
I think so. I think he does. I don't know. It's on his Instagram, and I can't. It's it burned in my brain.
Okay, there we go. Braun Strowman. Um, yeah, I'm just really not looking forward to that one. But I gotta go Strowman, and a big reason for that is I think you can. It's like pin, submission, or escape from what I saw. So like, there's a lot of ways for Strowman to win there, but. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. If they wind up sliming each other,
That would make it all worth it.
that
That would
might
make it all worth it.
that might be good. After that, we've got a match that I think is going to be really damn good. We got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. I have not seen the build to this at all because I haven't been watching SmackDown, but like these are two of my favorite in-ring workers, maybe of all time. Like I've been watching these guys for decades at this point. And it's great to see Cesaro finally getting some sort of high-profile singles match at WrestleMania. And Rollins has like been here, done that. Like he's always going to be one of their top guys, no matter what's going on. So I'm going to take Cesaro for the win because like he could really, really, really use it. What do you think?
Okay, so the build for this basically was when Seth Rollins came back, Cesaro was the only person left standing in like beside the ring, and then he and then he came and then he like Seth thought he was the only one. He thought, "Oh, you're on my side," and then he just went, "Nah," and he left. And then Cesaro came back. And so then Cesaro like just challenged him to like a match at WrestleMania, basically. So that was kind of the build, which is fine. It was kind of drawn out and long. That's fine. I've really enjoyed like the Seth Rollins. He did like a political ad slash Scientology commercial kind of
Oh,
thing
really?
last night for
Okay.
Cesaro, like a smear campaign kind of thing, and it was really good and I enjoyed it. But like you said, I think these two are probably two of the most talented people in WWE right now, given say for like some of the main eventers. And I think this could steal the show, especially when you put Seth Rollins and Cesaro together. This is going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. Who I feel like Seth Rollins is going to win. I really do. Even though I'd like Cesaro to win, but I just I don't know. Cesaro kind of needs to win more, you know.
Yeah, I think Cesaro needs to win way more, but I like it is very hard to pick against Rollins. So, like
It
I
is because he's Mr. WWE, you know.
and they've always been really hesitant to like actually like Cesaro's been there for like a decade. So, like we've been at this point a few times with Cesaro where it looked like they'd put him in the main event and he'd kill it and then like the crowds would love it and he'd be getting like a little bit of a push and then something would happen. Either he'd get hurt or they'd put him in a tag team or they'd just start jobbing him out of nowhere. They've just never really pulled the trigger on him. But I think from what I understand, like he recently signed a new contract, so maybe that's where some of this is coming from.
Oh.
Maybe they know he's like
Hmm.
100% committed for like the foreseeable future. Because I'm sure there was thoughts if and once again I don't know if that's true or not, but Cesaro is the kind of guy that AEW would scoop up in half a second. Like if he was a free agent, it's like
Yes.
Cesaro, come here, we'll give you whatever you want.
Yes.
And WWE may have had that in the back of their mind over the last handful of months, maybe when they're like trying to figure out if he's going to stay or not. And if he is committed and he did resign, then maybe now WWE can go, you know what? You stuck with us. We know you had other options. The fans want it. You've been loyal to us. Let's you know, let's actually push the guy. Which
Yeah.
his the one downside to him is his mic skills. That's always been an issue. It's the same thing with Bobby Lashley. If they can correct it and get him a mouthpiece or something like the Paul Heyman thing, I hate that didn't work out because I thought that was so perfect for him. But
Yeah.
if they can get him a good manager, Cesaro he could be the world champion. He has the in ring talent to he's as good as anybody in the ring that the WWE has. So
Yeah. And now that we've kind of talked it through and you kind of convinced me, I do think Cesaro will probably win because if I look at it as who can handle a loss more right now, given their status in WWE, it's definitely Seth Rollins.
right,
And I feel like and honestly, the way that these two go and the way that these two wrestle so incredibly well and how agile and incredible they are, I don't think this is a win-win for both of them because they're both going to be so fantastic and they both wrestle so well. I mean, no one's going to come out of this looking bad.
right. I totally agree. And there's another layer to this too is this is WrestleMania. This is probably Cesaro's first ever one-on-one match at
It
WrestleMania.
is. It is.
Okay. And he's had some moments. Like I was there live when he won the Andre Battle Royal, and people went nuts. And like I was there for some of his, indie stuff and whatnot. And this is the reason I say this is because Cesaro one on one WrestleMania finally getting a chance to shine on his own biggest stage. He has
Mhm.
some moves that he has never done on the WWE that I used to watch him do back
Yes.
on the Indies. That like if he whips out some of these moves tonight people are gonna see him at like an even higher level because like there's some stuff he can do that he still hasn't shown that like there I think he did the UFO last year, which is like he basically
Yes.
puts people up in like a burning hammer position and just spins around and throws them and they just just like a helicopter. It's awesome. And that's also how I feel. We'll talk about Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for night 2 in a minute, but I feel I have the same feeling. There are certain performers I'm really looking forward to seeing having these spotlights at WrestleMania, because I think they've been holding back certain things on their moveset specifically for these types of situations. So I'm excited for that.
Me too.
And I saw somebody in the chat, I think it was Kogan, talking about what is Seth Rollins' drip, because they didn't know what drip is. Yeah, basically like your
That's
clothes.
not my forte. I'm not speaking on that.
I'm a little out of the loop, but it's like what clothes you're wearing. So it's like your drip.
Yes.
So. After that, we got a match that I am not looking forward to at all. A tag team turmoil match where the winning team is going to wrestle for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on night 2. We got Lana and Naomi versus, which I didn't even know was a team, versus Brooke.
Yeah, they're a team.
Okay. Versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina versus Billie Kay and Carmella. I mean, there is a decent amount of like good talent in the match. I just don't care. And like I said, I didn't even know that Lana and Naomi were even a team. That's how out of the loop I am.
They're like a TikTok squad.
Oh, well, that makes
TikToks together.
That's even less relatable for me. I'll just give a quick. You can give as long of a thoughts as you want because you'll know more about what's going on here. But I feel like this whole thing is set up to where like Lana and Naomi will win, and then on night 2, Lana will put Nia Jax to an announce table, unless that's already happened.
Whoa. I don't know if that's already happened. If it did, I don't remember. I'm gonna go with the Riot Squad just because that's who I want to win. I mean, they could have, if they have Lana and Naomi win, it'll be really interesting because then it'll tell me that WWE is interested in that TikTok demographic and kind of getting on that TikTok and getting into that wave of social media because it is so popular. Because they do a bunch of those TikTok dances together. It's really cute. I mean, it's fun, but it's, like you said, not your forte.
What for kids? I mean, WWE is for kids. Like TikTok's for kids. I could see the crossover big time there.
Yeah. So if they win, I wouldn't be surprised. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, they've actually been a decent tag team. Riot Squad is great. I just want them to win because they're probably the most established actual tag team. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones who have been a tag team the longest. So I feel like by default they should be grandfathered in. Natalya and Tamina just random, and then Billie Kay and Carmella like literally just happened last night. And they spoiled it on Twitter on accident, and they deleted the tweet. So I'm just gonna go with the Riot Squad. This will be fun. I mean, they can go. I love Naomi, and I wish she had a singles match. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I like the thought process of the Riot Squad being the most established tag team. I think that's very good to point out there, because they definitely are the most established of these tag teams. But yeah, like I said, I haven't followed it enough. I've seen some other people kind of agreeing. If Lana has not gotten her revenge on Nia Jax up to this point, I feel like WrestleMania is going to be where they do it. That whole story was really, really bad in my opinion. I hated the whole her crying on the ring steps and winning matches. Oh God,
so sad.
And yeah, the whole I'm a winner, but like you didn't do anything. It was just annoying and bad. And I mean, the first few weeks of her getting put through the announce table, that was funny to me. But like, once you get into like old double digits of weeks, yeah, exactly. Kogan Sport with a super chat that's about this match, so thank you very much, Kogan.
Yay, thank you.
Says, I gotta say, I think they're really wasting potential with Ruby and Liv. I feel like there's some potentially great characters with them.
Oh, I completely agree, and thank you so much, Kogan. I mean, they had the whole Liv Morgan, they had her cutting those, like, they had those video vignettes for, like, weeks and weeks and weeks, and what does it come out? She's Lana's secret lesbian lover or something like that.
Right. I forgot all about that. During the Rusev and Lashley stuff, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's that whole debacle. But, yeah, I completely agree. I think that they have a lot of potential, and they're so talented as well. And I would like to see them on TV more because they deserve it. So I completely agree, and thank you so much, Kogan. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yes, we very, very much appreciate that, Kogan. Thank you for all the support. And, yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, they have a very big fan base, live in Ruby Riot, and they've always been solid in the ring. And, people want to see them get pushes, and they've been hesitant to do it. So yeah, I mean, as far as all the teams in this match, I would say the same. They're probably the team that I would want to win the most. But I think just storyline wise, the whole Lana thing. But once again, yeah, whatever. I'm just really not. But here's the flip side. I'm really looking forward to this one. We have the main event of night one, the first two black women to ever main event WrestleMania, which is like groundbreaking. Black, African American, women of color, however you want to cut it. This is a historic main event, and these are two women that deserve it. I mean, Sasha Banks has Sasha Banks has consistently been one of the best performers WWE's had, male or female, for years. Bianca Belair has a lot of buzz, coming out of NXT and the stuff she's done, since the Royal Rumble, and she's very athletic. And the two of them are kind of mirror images of each other in a lot of sense, But Bianca, I think, is a bit more of like the athlete of the two, and Sasha's a bit more of like, she's very athletic as well, but she's kind of like, she's like a big star
power.
Exactly.
Yeah, star power.
A big star who is very, 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 very good in the ring. And Sasha versus Bayley at TakeOver was like probably the best women's match I've ever seen the WWE do. So like she's already there. She's already a made woman forever with the WWE as far as I'm concerned. Sasha Banks, one of the best they've ever had. What is your prediction for this one? Who do you think walks away, main event, leaves as the SmackDown Women's Champion?
Gosh, it is really a toss-up to me because, honestly, it could go either way. You have Sasha Banks, who is known for not being able to hold on to her title. She's kind of proven that point a little bit now, but on the big stage, could she do it? And I think that that's a storyline that they could go with, and I'm surprised they really haven't too much gone with that. She's got the star power. She's kind of transcended, like, WWE and the fact that she was in The Mandalorian and all that, and she's just an amazing... And I wouldn't be mad to see her win. However, Bianca Belair, fresh new talent out of NXT, cuts a mean promo, is incredibly strong, fantastic in the ring. The next women's superstar, in my humble opinion. I absolutely love Bianca Belair. I love everything about her. Her story is incredible. Her wrestling is incredible. Her charisma is incredible. I think this will be a fantastic match. I feel like this will be main event worthy, as it should be. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair just because I want to see that WrestleMania moment for her. And I feel like Sasha Banks, she's got the star power. She's, Star Wars person. She doesn't need that big moment. And I feel like to close out night one would be an incredible and amazing thing for Bianca Belair to have those fireworks going off and holding up that championship. And now I do want to say one thing. Becky Lynch did tweet. Mm-hmm. Or not did tweet, but she posted on Instagram a picture of her lifting weights, and it said her location was Tampa, Florida, and it said night one. I really hope that she does not interrupt this match because I want Bianca Belair or Sasha Banks to have their full solo WrestleMania moment. I don't want it to be interrupted by Becky Lynch. And I feel like Becky Lynch would probably agree with that. And even though it would probably be a big surprise to close out the show, it would take the moment away from Bianca Belair or Sasha Banks, and I don't want that. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with all that. I mean, there's a lot of good possibilities there, and the potential of Becky Lynch being involved to some degree. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm leaning Bianca. I'm going to take Bianca for my prediction. Mm-hmm. I do love, and I saw you tweet about this also, and I totally agree, that I do love that they're main eventing night one, because if you're gonna have two Royal Rumble matches, the winners of both of those matches, if you're gonna have two Royal Rumbles and 2 nights of WrestleMania, that should be who main events each show, is whoever wins those Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah.
So, Bianca and Sasha should be there 100% as the main event because of the Royal Rumble, and on top of that, they have the talent and they deserve it anyway. So it's like, do I think that Bianca versus Sasha is gonna be a better match than Drew and Bobby? I don't know. I think they're both going to be really good. And if I had to lean one way, I think the best match of the night is going to be Bobby and Drew, or potentially Cesaro and Seth, but that doesn't have like a title attached to it. But but Bianca and Sasha, I think, are going to go out there and they're going to work incredibly hard, and they're going to put on the best match that they possibly can. And I think it's going to be really good. And especially with that, I mean, there's going to be a light shining very brightly on this match. I mean, with this being the main event and everything, they're going to have to perform, and I think they're going to rise to the occasion. It's going to be really, really good. But I got to go with Bianca. I just feel like she's really hot right now. The fan base wants it. Sasha's in a position where she could win the title at any moment, or she could go to Raw at some point in like the next draft or something and just like be the champion there for a long time. I don't know. There's plenty you can still do with Sasha. So
oh yeah, she's top of the line anywhere.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go Bianca for my prediction, but I think they're gonna have a really, really damn good match. After that,
throwback. Yay, super chat throwback. Well, we better not move on because he's got this.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, throwback. Fantasy booking. Sasha wins. Ding dong hello. Oh, ding dong hello happens. Becky comes out and challenges Sasha at SummerSlam with Bianca in it. 3 ways dance and add Bailey. Becky wins at SummerSlam. At Mania next year, Fatal 4-Way off. Wow, all 4 horsewomen.
I mean, that's very long-term play there.
But I love it. I hope that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
It would be. I wouldn't rule it
throwback.
out. Yeah, thank you, throwback. I wouldn't rule it out. I could definitely see. I mean, if I had to guess what Becky's doing on the show, it would be coming out after this main event and confronting whoever is the champion at the end of the night. There's also the chance she could do something with Seth. That's totally possible. I saw Corey mention that.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
And I think that's a big part of the night one thing. But then also, like, if she comes out and confronts Sasha or Bianca, that would lead me to believe that Becky's going to be going to SmackDown, which would also make sense because Seth's there. But that would be a big loss for Raw because she was the Raw Women's Champion before she had to take the maternity break, right?
That's true. That's very true. Yes.
And Raw's kind of hurting right now on the women's side. Like, we'll talk about
They're hurting in general.
Yeah, yes, I couldn't agree more. It sucks too because apparently SmackDown's just been great, and I've just been missing it because I don't watch it on Fridays. But if SmackDown, if what was happening on SmackDown was happening on Raw instead, I'd be like fully invested. I'd be watching every Monday and like actually pumped up about it. So yeah, I feel like they screwed that up too because like, I'm sorry y'all, like I know that like it's on Fox and it's SmackDown and all this stuff, but like Raw is still the flagship show no matter what anybody says, and I don't know why they aren't putting their best product on Mondays. It doesn't make any sense to me. So anyways, after that, this kind of was a perfect segue, and thank you again so much, Throwback.
Yes.
We appreciate
that.
And
I love that booking, and I think WWE should look into that for real because I really do like that booking.
I do too. And yeah, I mean, 4 horsewomen all against each other, like we've been wanting that for forever. So yeah, and also I'll throw this out there too, and this may have something to do with the Asuka Ripley match. I don't know, but I'm hearing Rousey's ready to come back too. So
I heard that too. Yeah.
So that's gonna be a big boost for these women's divisions, especially if you keep Becky and Rousey away from each other for a while. I could see Rousey coming back to Raw and then Becky doing SmackDown, and then like a year from now you build up like another big super fight between the two or something.
Absolutely.
Throwback.
I like Survivor Series.
Chat.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, it's Survivor Series. I could see that too, or SummerSlam or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Throwback says Asuka versus Io for the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam. I'm calling my shot. You're awesome. You keep killing it. I work sorry for doing this late. Well, first of all, Throwback, never apologize for one, coming in here and hanging out, and for 2, you're literally giving us money. So like, we
don't apologize.
Yeah, you have nothing to apologize for. You know me, dude. You don't have to be doing that. I talk to you all the time. We do podcasts and stuff together. You don't have to be giving us any money, but we really, really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
And what do you think about that? Asuka versus Io for the title at SummerSlam, but if Io were to be moved to Raw or SmackDown, which is definitely possible with her losing the NXT title.
Yes. Yes. In a fantastic match, by the way.
Yes.
You know what, Throwback, I completely agree. And I was going to say that I do think that Asuka should retain because Rhea Ripley just kind of came in and was like, I want a title match, which is what WWE tends to always freaking do. And it's super annoying. Even though I love Rhea Ripley, don't get me wrong, I just think it's too soon. And I think we need to build her up a little bit more. I think she can go with Asuka, but I think I want Asuka to be back to like the undefeated Asuka that we came to know and love. And I agree. And I think Asuka versus Io would be a fantastic match. And I think that they should go with that. And thank you so much again, Throwback.
Yes. Yeah. What I think they're gonna do is I think they'll make Asuka and Io a team because that's what WWE does.
That's what they do.
They're both Asian.
Yeah.
They're both Asian.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be their thing. It was the same with Kairi Sane. You know, with Kairi Sane, you know, they just pair all the Asians together, and that's just they pair all the Hispanics together. It's just what WWE does. Like I'm not sitting here and like calling them racist. I'm not sitting here saying anything else other than it just is what it is. So,
Yep.
I think that Rhea Ripley's going to win the title from Asuka at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
And then I think that that's what we're going to get is a tag team between Asuka and Io going forward.
That makes sense.
The only thing I don't like about Rhea Ripley, and it isn't about Rhea Ripley, it's about the build for the match. She literally just showed up on Raw and just asked for a title match and got one.
Yeah, that's what I hate.
It's like she was second place in the Royal Rumble. Like, she didn't earn the title shot. She had her chance. And then she just came out and asked for a title shot. So, like, I'm not about that type of build. But I think, you know, and here's the other thing. It doesn't matter what I think about Rhea Ripley. I think she's very talented. I think she looks great. I think she checks pretty much every box you would want out of a WWE superstar. But it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Vince thinks. And I don't know what he thinks about Rhea at this point still. So, I don't know. But I think I'm going to take Rhea to win the title. So I think we get Rhea and Bianca both as new champions coming out of WrestleMania.
Cool. Completely disagree. No, I'm just kidding. I can see them doing that. I just want Asuka to win.
Yeah, and I love Asuka. She's one of my favorites. I mean, once again, on a personal level, I'd like to see Asuka retain, but I'm going to go with Rhea as my prediction. What's Corey saying? Steven. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Corey. Let me know in the chat. After that, we have here's an I am not looking forward to this at all. We have The Fiend versus Randy Orton. I think I heard Brian Alvarez might have been the one I heard talking about this, and he made a really good point where it's like we have all these stipulation matches throughout WrestleMania, like this Nigerian drum fight we'll talk about in a minute. We have a steel cage match. We have like all these different types of matches. But The Fiend was literally burnt to death by Randy Orton, and this is just a singles match. It's like, okay. What do you think about that? I think people are going to totally disagree with me, but I thought the build to this sucked. I think The Fiend sucks now. I think he looks stupid. I am not into this at all. I think this is going to be... The WrestleMania match that we were at WrestleMania 33 was really bad. I don't know how this is going to be any better. So, I think this is going to suck, and I'm going to take... I was going to take The Fiend, but now I'm leaning even more towards Randy Orton. Like, maybe he just kills The Fiend and Bray Wyatt goes back to, like, backwoods country cult leader Bray Wyatt or something. I don't know, but what do you... If you disagree, I'm fine with that, too. Like, if you're looking forward to this, I want to know, but what do you think about this matchup, and who do you think wins?
I agree with you. I'm completely over this. I'm tired of this feud. I don't know why it keeps going. It's ridiculous. I feel like The Fiend has to win, and if he doesn't, the character needs to be over.
Right.
I'm sorry. If The Fiend does not win, it's done. You cannot have this mystical, larger-than-life, superhuman character that hypnotizes people and have it lose matches. You can't. It just doesn't work. I'm suspending my disbelief enough with thinking that this character burned alive and then came back to life as like a demon Ninja Turtle.
Right. As Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, and so it's like if Randy Orton defeats The Fiend, it's done. It's done. It was, to me, it was done when he got lit on fire, and I'm kind of happy he came back because I do kind of like this mysteriousness of The Fiend. But this feud with Randy Orton has absolutely like diluted any fun with The Fiend. Alexa Bliss, while she's doing her best work right now, like as like an actress, kind of like her best acting, her best promos and stuff like that. It's like, what are we gonna do? You know, like what are we doing here? I need The Fiend to win, and that's about it. And I really don't know where they go from here. I just hope it's something interesting.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I'm gonna pick the Fiend. That is gonna be my prediction. But like you said, if Randy Orton wins, which is totally possible, that has to be the end of the character. It just has to, because he's just been. It just isn't. Like you mentioned, him being killed off, basically after he got lit on fire. But let's also not forget, not that you have, but just to throw this out there, we have seen the man drowned in a swamp. We have seen the man beat to death in Hell in a Cell, to the point where there was a DQ in a Hell in a Cell, which that hurt him a lot. We saw the man squashed by Bill Goldberg. To me, that was like the real, like, okay, don't care about this guy anymore moment. They've just botched it at so many different points that they have somehow made me not care at all about the Fiend, and I thought he was going to be like the best thing they had done in years when they debuted that character. So
Yeah, and apparently, we did get a super chat, by the way, from Kogan. Thank you so much, Kogan. He did say apparently the Fiend has a new look for WrestleMania. That would be interesting. I hope it's super spooky and creepy. I hope it's creepier.
yeah, because who knows what that means, right? Like, new
Yeah,
look.
really.
I mean, remember what they tried to make him look like when he was going to be Sister Abigail against the Demon?
Yes, I remember that.
And then it never happened because
Because bacterial meningitis.
yeah, him and Roman both got that. I remember that because that was when Kurt Angle had to be in the Shield randomly during that.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. The Fiend is a pretty polarizing character because a lot of people love the costume and all that stuff and the story. So I don't want to sit here and, like, you know, be too harsh about it if it is something that you enjoy. But they need to salvage it. Like, there needs to be. He basically needs to come out here and just squash Randy Orton. That isn't what's going to happen. Like, they're not going to just squash Randy, but that's, like, the best thing they could do if they have any faith in that Fiend character still. But anyways, moving on into a match that I don't even know what this is.
Same. I was going to ask you.
So I heard, and once again, I think this was when I was listening to Alvarez and those guys. My mind when I heard about this match was I figured that there was going to be people, and this could be what happens. My guess was it would be people surrounding the ring, banging on drums, and then it was like a street fight where, like, you could, you know, maybe they use giant drumsticks to hit each other, or like some weapons or something, but like there's like drum beats, like, or something around the ring, something to make it seem like it's like some sort of Nigerian like celebration or something. I don't know. Kind of like, for me, like, being Jewish, you have like hava, you know, like maybe they have something in their culture where it's like some sort of chant or something they do while they're beating drums. Like, I was thinking something like that because it's a Nigerian drum fight, like something from their culture that I don't know about. Like in like the Thai culture and stuff, they have like different types of fights where they like tape their fists and people like kind of surround the ring, and like it's like this whole kind of ceremony and ritual and stuff. So, but what I heard Alvarez talking about was, I think the way it was explained is that a Nigerian drum fight means that you're beating somebody like a drum. So I think it's a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
So what it sounds like is this is just a no holds barred or a street fight type match. Like, I don't think this is going to be, I mean, maybe because it's WWE, maybe they do add in people like drumming or something during it, but my perception, I think, might be a little different than what actually happens. But nobody knows. That's part of the problem here too.
Yeah, so I was trying to look on Twitter at what it is. And Cultaholic posted an article yesterday saying Big E says, I have no idea what a Nigerian drum fight is. I've got some work to do. Maybe I'll learn on the fly. So they don't know either.
Well, there you go. And he agreed to the match. So
yeah.
I don't know. Who do you think wins this one? Because we've seen this a few times already, and I'm a big fan of both performers, but Big E has basically established dominance over Apollo this entire time.
Well, given WWE's track record of hometown stuff, but, you know, they have people win at WrestleMania in their hometowns, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know what you're kind of saying though. Like, a lot of times, someone goes to their hometown and gets like embarrassed in front of everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Big E just because I really like what they're doing with him. However, it would make sense to have Apollo Crews win to get the gimmick over, but I don't know. I don't think the gimmick's that strong. And usually, to me, if someone makes a stipulation, it gets used against them. And I just really like Big E. I really like Big E. I really like him as Intercontinental Champion. Um, so I'm just gonna go with Big E just because I think it. I really liked he cut a really good promo last night about being his hometown and being from his home, and I really enjoyed it. And I just want to see a Big E win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Big E as well. I feel like if they were gonna go with Apollo, they would have already done it. I do like Apollo, and I was very confused when I watched the last WWE pay per view because I had not watched SmackDown, and I heard him cutting promos, and I was like, wait, this guy sounds completely different than the last time I heard him.
Yeah, I know. It's like what?
But I do like that they're leaning into that character, though. It's him doing the whole Nigerian kind of royalty thing that he's doing is way more interesting than him just being a random guy who just smiles all the time and is just happy to be there. So
Yeah.
I do like that, but I'm with you. I'm going to take Big E. I think he gets the win in this one.
Yeah, we did get a super chat from Kogan again. Thank you so much, Kogan. It says, I'm waiting for the day Bray does shoot interviews on or Broken Skull sessions. I want to hear what that man thinks of the crap they've put him through. Yeah, that will be a fascinating listen to what kind of things that he's pitched. And because I mean, the things that he's pitched and that he's gotten through are amazing. Can you imagine the stuff that he hasn't gotten through? It would be incredible.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like, I think he's a really smart mind for wrestling, and he's a very good promo. The problem was a lot of the years that he was cutting the promos, they were promos that just didn't go anywhere at all. Like, it would just be him basically saying the same stuff, talking in circles over and over, and then he'd just lose all the big matches. So it's like, but also part of it, like, to be fair, I don't know if part of the problem is Bray Wyatt. I don't know. Because, like, I honestly think a part of the
Could
issue.
be.
I really think a part of the issue is I just don't think he's that good in the ring, and he's
Yeah,
athletic.
limited, very limited.
Right? Like he's athletic, and he's had good matches, but like the matches that really stand out to me are him in the Wyatt family against the Shield, where everyone around him, outside of like Eric Rowan, was really really talented. I mean, you had Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, and Harper all there in matches with him. And then, and I like Rowan, but he was a very robotic, generic type wrestler, but that's what he was supposed to be doing in the Wyatt family. And then you had him versus Daniel Bryan had some really, really great one-on-one matches, but we're talking Daniel Bryan, arguably the best in-ring wrestler in the world. So that's kind of my reservation too with Bray Wyatt is how much of it is the character has been started and stopped, how much of it has been like the poor writing and the poor stories, but how much also is it that like when it comes down to it, he hasn't really blown me away with his performances. Like I mentioned before, that match that we saw against Randy Orton at WrestleMania, that was probably the worst match of that night, except for I mean, I thought the main event was the worst match of that night. Undertaker and Roman, I thought was terrible.
It was so bad. Poor
But
Undertaker. It looked awful.
yeah, I really did. But I'm with you. Thank you again, Kogan, for the super chat. And speaking of Broken Skull sessions, I'm actually looking more forward to Jericho on that podcast on Sunday than I am for WrestleMania. Like, I can't wait.
That will be interesting, yes.
Can't wait to hear. I can't wait. I mean, he name dropped Sammy Guevara in the preview. Like, I cannot wait to hear what they wind up talking about. After that, we got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn's going to have Logan Paul in his corner, which, you know, if you were to tell me even a handful of years ago, even last year, that I would see Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen versus El Generico in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, but it would involve Logan Paul and that Zayn would be the heel and that Owens would be the face, I would have, like, this is a scenario I just did not expect. But the match will be really good, and I think they'll do some really cool stuff. And I'd love to see Sami Zayn hit the brain buster on the top rope because he's never done it in the WWE, and Kevin Owens is the right guy to take that move. But my prediction is that Logan Paul will knock out Sami Zayn, Mike Tyson style, and Owens will get the pin based off of Logan Paul helping him. What do you think?
Okay, so I was not shocked, honestly, to see Logan Paul because he just did The Masked Singer on Fox. So I wonder if he had like kind of like a contractual thing with them. I'm sure Fox had something to do with that, got the pull. I mean, it's a big name. I mean, that's
Oh yeah,
another like Bad Bunny, like for younger American kids, like you're dipping into like a huge demographic there.
for
So
sure.
that's a huge marquee name, especially
And
like
combat sports fans because of his
yes,
boxing. Yeah.
yes, because he is kind of transcended the YouTube community and he's actually kind of grown up a little bit, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm actually a fan of his now. I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
really dislike him, but he's
He's
changed.
really
Yeah.
he's changed quite a bit. It's impressive. Um, I really like your analysis there. I do think Kevin Owens is gonna win. Does he jump off the pirate ship that like he promised last year? Do you think?
I
I don't know.
I
That
think it would
pirate ship is
make
big.
it would all make sense though if like Logan knocked out Sammy for instance because it would give
Yeah.
Owens the time to like get up to wherever he needs to go to
True.
jump off. So maybe that's
Yeah.
part of it also.
That may be part of it. So I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens. I like Kevin Owens. I
There's your
think he.
Pokemon card.
Oh, thank you.
Pokemon
I
cards.
should make it.
But yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be
And
good.
yes, I have a Pokemon card now.
Hell yeah, Pokemon cards are awesome.
Yes, they are.
But yeah, I'll take Kevin Owens as well for my prediction. And yeah, I have no problem with Logan Paul being involved. It's strange that it's in that particular match, but like I mean he's. And now I've talked about it before. I've met the guy. I met him last year, and he was actually really cool to me. So
Yeah, that's what he
you
said.
know,
So.
I got nothing bad to say about the guy. He said some really dumb stuff and did some really dumb stuff on YouTube years ago, but like
Yeah,
seems like he's changed quite a bit.
yeah.
After that, we have this is a match that we saw a couple weeks ago on Raw where Sheamus beat Riddle, and that's been basically the build up for the
Yeah.
match. I'll say this real quick. Riddle forgetting his lines in that Oscar segment was like the best thing I've seen on Raw in a long time. That was hilarious to me.
That was so funny.
That was the best. And then Oscar's reaction was hilarious too. She was so confused. But I'll say this. I think this is going to be a really good, hard-hitting match. I think both guys are going to go out there and really perform. I've always liked Riddle in the ring and what he brings to the table with his MMA style. And I do think Sheamus is doing the best work of his entire career right now. He's been putting on really good matches. So who do you think wins this one, Jessi? We got Sheamus and Riddle for the U.S. title.
Oh, I'm gonna go with it's really a crapshoot, isn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Riddle to retain, just for poops and giggles. Even though I could see Sheamus winning, but I think, like you said, we've seen this before, and I don't know. Even though didn't Sheamus win that?
Yeah, which I hate
Yeah.
that kind of build where it's like,
I know it's so weird.
yeah, like
It's
we
like
saw the match
50-50
2 weeks
booking.
ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly where they're heading, by the way. I think Riddle gets the win back. And
Yeah, that's exactly. Given WWE's formula, I just feel like Matt Riddle's gonna win. So
yeah. And all I'm hoping for out of this one is I hope Sheamus goes out there and just beats the heck out of him, and Riddle takes the beating and fights back and winds up getting like the kind of like the comeback win because
yeah,
because Sheamus, like, I gotta give him the credit. Like I said, he is putting on really good matches. It's just unfortunate.
Yes,
Right? It's just unfortunate we've been so overexposed to him. Like, we've been watching him for so long, and he hasn't really changed or evolved a whole lot over time either. It's like still kind of watching the same guy, but like I said, his matches have been really good lately. And Riddle's gonna go out there and also shout out to I mean, I don't even want to say shout out. I'll just throw this out there. I don't know how to put this. What they've done to Riddle, between making him completely brain dead, like, I get he's supposed to be like the funny stoner guy. I get that, but like, they've made him like mentally handicapped almost to like he's like you know what I mean? Like, people don't like. He's like rambling about stuff. He's going out there and like having conversation with people, and like he's supposed to be a good guy, but they're like bailing from him because like they don't want to listen to him. It's really weird. They have him riding around on a scooter.
It's so random. The birds.
I was about to say that's where I was going. Now there's birds flying out of his ass, and like and like going toward and like flying towards the cameras and stuff, and through all of that, he's still going out there and rising above it somehow. Like he's still going out there and like having really good matches and is the U.S. champion, and like the company seems really high on him still. So I'm like, it's like they've handicapped him over and over and over again, but like he's
like a savant.
Yeah, he's like still like succeeding somehow. So like I gotta give him credit.
Savant.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the way that you put it is, I said this on my show with Doug, the same thing, and I do not mean to be offensive when I say this. I promise you, but like, if I think I've said it on the show as well. If they had never done the Eugene character before, I think they would have done that with Matt Riddle. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, that's kind of where they've gone with it anyways, is like, he seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just seems so, like, brain dead on the show. To the point where he's even forgetting his lines, because, like, the stuff they want him to say just makes no sense, and he's, like, forgetting it. It's like, you know, because I saw the transcript that Fightful got of, like, what he was supposed to say on that, you know, during that Oscar thing, and it was like, him just forgetting his lines was definitely better than saying what they wanted him to say. Because, like, what they wanted him to say made no sense. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. They basically made him a savant, like you said. He's like Rain Man for wrestling. Like,
Stoner Rain Man.
Stoner Rain Man.
Power.
Yep. So I'm gonna take Riddle. I think he wins the match. I think it's gonna be really, really good. And I hope they do something for his character to make him just not seem so just I mean, I like stoners, don't get me wrong, but like it's like, I don't know, it's strange. They made him like too much of it. He's almost making stoners look bad because of how like brain dead they've made him.
Exactly. It's too much.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll move past that. I'm a fan of both guys. I think it's gonna be a good match. After that, we got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with Reginald.
What?
Reginald's cool. I like Reginald.
You know, I don't know much about him, although like I saw him with Carmella, and then the next thing I knew he was with this tag team, and I do not really know why. Some people have tried to explain it to me. I don't think.
So he started out as Carmella's sommelier,
right? Wine
and then
expert or whatever.
Wine
right?
person, yes, a wine expert, because Carmella likes wine for some reason. And then he was with Sasha, because Sasha formed an alliance. They had like some weird intergender match, but it was really kind of a choreographed dance. And somehow through that, it was like a big twist. Like Nia Jax sided with him and took him out like shopping, and it was different. But I actually am a really big fan of Reginald. If you go on his Instagram, he was actually in, I think it was Aria by Cirque du Soleil or Amaluna. He was actually in Cirque du Soleil. He did a hoop diving. He's incredibly talented. Yes, he was a Cirque du Soleil performer. You can actually really see it in his work and in his acrobatics.
I haven't seen him wrestle, I haven't seen him wrestle, but I've seen him doing flips and stuff.
Yes, if you go onto his Instagram and see all the work that he did in Cirque du Soleil, it's actually really incredible. As someone who was a circus acrobat, I appreciate that.
Sure. No, it is impressive. Like,
yeah.
You know, I'll never take away the athleticism that it definitely takes to do that type of stuff. Even with like cheerleading and stuff, I've always like really appreciated just the flexibility and the strength and the skill it takes for sure.
Yeah. So, but this match is like, speaking of this match, it's just totally random. Like, can we just throw the tag team championships away? They're kind of
well, they're even less valuable now that there's a set of NXT ones also.
Yeah, and I mean, this match is kind of hard to predict because we don't know who's won the tag team turmoil thing. It really depends on that. And honestly, I just have no interest in this other than Reginald because he's cool. And I don't know. It's kind of sad that they've turned Shayna into like this kind of comedy kind of bit person. She's not as badass as she once was, taking bites out of Becky's neck and stuff. So
I forgot about that. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Shayna, and I've never been a fan of Nia. So it just is what it is. Like I think once again, I think the Lana and Naomi team win night one. I think Lana puts Nia Jax through an announce table, and then
yeah, you know what? You're right. You're so right.
And then I think Naomi gets the win over Baszler. I think she like rolls her up for like the 3 or something. Like Baszler's like distracted
It's the
watching the.
revenge.
Yeah, exactly. I think something like that maybe. Either way, I have very low expectations for the match. Shayna can really wrestle. I mean, she's a damn good fighter.
Yes.
Like, you know, she's
Yeah.
badass. She was great in NXT. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jessi. They've made her very soft lately, which is not. I know there's a big discussion of like, you know, what the Undertaker said, the wrestling being soft, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, this is an example of that. Like, Shayna Baszler has been nerfed big time lately. So like, it just is what's happening. So
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just hope it's a good match, but I just don't expect much out of it. A match that I'm expecting a lot out of, though, the main event of night 2, we have Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship with, you know, of course, Paul Heyman in his corner, taking on Edge and Daniel Bryan. Triple threat match. I'll let you go first on this one, Jessi. I know who I'm picking already.
Man.
I'll go first. I already know.
You go first.
All right, so I'm gonna say this. I'm trying to talk for too long because I want your thoughts on it.
Okay.
I'll say this. I've been saying this whole time. Roman Reigns, I don't want to see him lose the title. I want to see him unbeaten. I want to see him hopefully wrestle The Rock at next year's WrestleMania. I want to see this long-term story where Roman Reigns never loses the belt and he's completely unscathed going into potentially the biggest match of his entire career. But I think the reason Daniel Bryan's in this match is to take the pinfall from Edge. So I see a scenario where Edge pins Daniel Bryan, wins the title. 10 years, I think it's like 10 years to the date that he last wrestled at WrestleMania. And I was there in Atlanta when he retained the title against Alberto Del Rio. So I think the story has that ending that it was meant to, where Edge wins the title to close out WrestleMania. But a month, I think what we'll get is Edge pinning Daniel Bryan, but maybe because Roman Reigns hits the last move on Daniel, but Edge throws Roman out of the ring or something and takes the win. And then, like, next month, whatever the pay-per-view is, I think we get Edge versus Daniel Bryan one-on-one, and Edge retains. And then the next pay-per-view, we get Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one. I think maybe Edge Daniel Bryan, he kind of becomes more of a babyface again, because, like, Edge just did what he needed to be the rated R superstar and win the title. But, like, 2 or 3 months from now, he wrestles Roman for the belt, and Roman beats him one-on-one to get the title back. And it's a good one-on-one match. And then Roman holds that belt all the way through until a big showdown with The Rock eventually. Because for Roman to lose the belt in this type of way, it doesn't hurt him at all, because he doesn't take the loss in the WrestleMania main event. And then his next opportunity I think he just beats the hell out of everybody until he gets a title shot again. And then if he gets the title back in his first one-on-one match, I don't think it really hurts him, as long as we're kind of back to the spot of him being the champion again.
Ooh, I really, really, really like that. I was going to echo almost exactly what you said about Roman Reigns. I think they should push him to the moon. I think he needs to stay the champion. I was going to completely agree with you there. And then when you said but, I was like, uh-oh. But then you said they put Daniel Bryan in that place to take that pinfall. And it makes perfect sense, because then Roman Reigns gets off the hook. Something can happen, you get distracted, whatever, he gets stuck, I don't know. You know, he gets his foot stuck in a hole or something, I don't even know. Something happens, he can't make it in time. Edge gets the win, but he gets it over Daniel Bryan, so Roman Reigns is protected. It makes perfect sense. And then all that stuff, like you said, and, you know, Edge gets his championship, you know, redemption, you know, coming back from basically being having the risk of being paralyzed in a match to, you know, this incredible medical anomalies. Him and Daniel Bryan, really. I really do like that. I would be shocked if anything other than what you said happens. I would be incredibly shocked. I would be even more shocked if Roman Reigns were to take a pin.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if Roman Reigns actually wins, because, like you said, I just feel like this has been the best build that WWE's had, by the way. Roman Reigns cut an incredible promo last night in SmackDown. Edge cut an incredible promo. Daniel Bryan cuts an incredible promo. These three can go. I'm really excited for this match. However, the two, like, fragile necks I'm really nervous about, because you've got two guys in there who had to were forced to retire because they could have been paralyzed at any moment had they stepped in that ring again. And now they are both, by the grace of God and by the grace of medical science, they are back in the ring. That makes me nervous as hell. However, they're working with Roman Reigns, who I really do trust as a great worker. I agree. I think Edge gets the win, and it's like the big redemption thing. And you have a pissed off Roman Reigns to open SmackDown on Friday. After that, I think it's really good, and you get this really pissed off. I mean, can you imagine how scary, like in kayfabe, how scary that pissed off Roman Reigns is going to be? If I were if I were Jey Uso, I would be horrified. I'd be like, oh God, he's gonna take it out on me.
Well, I love that Jey Uso won that Andre Royal Rumble.
Yes,
because
it helps.
Yeah, because with Jey, now it's like he has something to show Roman that he isn't a failure. You know what I mean? So like Roman's less likely, like he's more likely to accept Jey than like be against him right now because Jey has proven himself.
Yeah.
What I would do, this is like fantasy booking to the max, but this would be the finish of the match for me for the WrestleMania main event. I would have what?
I said, "Ooh, I can't wait to hear it."
Yeah, and this is once again, it will not happen this way, but I just think it would make sense storyline wise. And this is once again WWE, and I could see them doing something like this. I would have it to where like Daniel Bryan looks like he's about to get the win. He's doing like the yes, yes, yes in the corner, and he's gonna go for like that big knee on Edge, or something like that's going on, and the Bella twins, who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, could be like front row or something, like for the match.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
And right when it looks like Daniel's about to get the win, Beth Phoenix comes out of nowhere and just smashes the Bellas.
Yes.
And then
yes.
And Daniel Bryan's like distracted, like my wife's getting just attacked. Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere, nails him with the spear. So he's like out cold, and then Edge comes out of nowhere to get rid of Roman and covers Daniel Bryan.
Spears him too.
Or spears Roman. Yeah, however they want to get Roman
spear
out of the way.
Spear. Yes.
But I think that'd be an interesting move, like because I mean the Bellas, once again, Hall of Fame, huge fan base. Beth Phoenix, they just did the Icons thing on her. A lot of people are talking about her. Obviously, she's married to Edge. Because otherwise, I would have it'd be cool as hell if like Lita came back out of nowhere and helped Edge. But we know that him and Beth are together, so like you kind of got to go that way, I think. But regardless, I think that'd be a pretty cool story. The Bella twins are ready, like it's Daniel Bryan, his big moment. Beth comes out of nowhere, just because everyone loves Beth too, and she's a commentator for NXT, but she can turn heel to be with Edge and help her husband out. So yeah, that'd be my call. So
I love it. I think that's so interesting. That's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think it'll be a good night.
Get John Cena involved too if he ever comes back, like because he's Oh, sorry, no, I was gonna say with Nikki, but they're not together anymore. My bad.
But she did thank him in his speech, and it would be a good throwback to when he proposed to her at WrestleMania 33.
True. Oh, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, y'all, that is
a lot of good that did.
Yeah, right. That's WrestleMania predictions, everybody. So I hope y'all enjoyed the shows. Night 1 is tonight, night 2 tomorrow, and yeah, I'll talk about our sponsors a little bit before we get out of here. But Jessi, if you want to kind of let everybody know what to do and plug your stuff and whatnot, I'll get everything ready, and super chats, donations, we'll make sure to cover those before we get out of here. If you guys got anything left to say.
Awesome. Well, you can find me on my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. I've been posting a lot more on my main page because I haven't been able to get into the DMs as much there because I never have two hands anymore. I'm doing everything one-handed. But I'm really trying to get back into that because now that the baby's able to like be on the ground for a little bit, have tummy time, and have lots of fun, and not be on my boobs all the time, I'm able to have a little bit more free time, so I'm getting back into that, and it would really, really, really mean a lot to me if you subscribe to my OnlyFans. If not, that's totally cool. OnlyFans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. Follow me on Twitter. I'm getting my meme factory ready. I'm hyping my meme status up tonight for WrestleMania. I'm hoping there are some good memeable moments.
Shit.
I'm ready. So, yes, I'm really, really excited, and I'll be there. Steven will be on Twitter too, I'm sure. And you can follow me there. Yeah, there's my Twitter. Hi. And yeah, so yeah, that's where I am. But if you like what you've seen, we love our chat, by the way. Shout out to the chat. You all are great. Y'all are having amazing conversations with each other. You guys are being kind and respectful to one another. We appreciate that so much. We appreciate the super chats. Thank you, everyone, for showing out. If you want more like minded, amazing people like yourselves in the chat with us, please do consider subscribing. Please do consider giving this video a thumbs up because it really does help out the YouTube algorithm and recommend this video to so many other people. And we would love to have more people in these chats. We would love to have more people watching because we love a happy, wholesome wrestling community that isn't poo-pooey to one another. And that's something that me and Steven both believe in, respecting each other's opinions and not being, an asshole about it. So please do consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing. It would really mean a lot to us.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, as far as the sponsors go, we got WrestleRumble.com. I talked about them a lot at the top of the show. Make sure to get in on these contests. 1 entry for 10, 3 entries for 20, 5 entries for 30. You can make your picks for WrestleMania. First place is going to be $1,000. Second place is $100, and third place is $100 as well. So $1,200 on the line in the WrestleMania Pick'em contest. Also have $1 raffles for the Stone Cold Legacy title belt. One of 500 of these have been made. They're badass. They're like commemorative title belts and limited edition. So once again, only $1 get in on that contest. And then also for only $1, there is the custom WrestleMania belt on the line that has the Daniel Bryan celebration from WrestleMania 30 on the main plate. We have the Smoking Skull Steve Austin replica title and the Brahma Bull Rock replica title. 3 different winners for that one. Once again, all for $1 entries. So check it out. The prizes are insane. This is the best time of year to be a pro wrestling fan. So throw a little money out there for the potential to get some serious return. Title belts and thousands of dollars on the line. WrestleRumble.com. Make sure to stay up to date with all their contests on Twitter at WrestleRumble. We got Music City Toys and Collectibles. They're going to be opening a brand new retail location at 101 West Main in Waterton, Tennessee. I always want to say Waterton, Kentucky because
It sounds like a Kentucky.
it does, doesn't it? Because Waterton, Tennessee is like give or take 40 minutes to an hour outside of Nashville, give or take. So Waterton, Tennessee. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Dan Severn in the house. I'm hosting the Q&A session with him. He's a current UFC Hall of Famer. He's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion in the world of pro wrestling. An absolute legend in combat sports. So he's going to be there doing an autograph signing, and I'm going to get some action figures signed by him, and can't wait. Also, quick shout out to Glacier from WCW, who I know some of his students at the Nightmare Factory. So I asked one of them to bring. I had a Glacier mask, like one of his Glacier masks, and he signed it for me. And he wrote "Be Cool" on it because he's Glacier, which I thought was incredible. Cool Glacier.
Nice.
So anyway, shout out to Glacier. But yeah, Music City Toys and Collectibles, they're awesome. They do sales on their Facebook page, and just check it out. They're really nice people. They give you fair business. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. They got autographs, memorabilia, DVDs, which is going to be a more valuable thing coming up with the switch from the network over to Peacock. If you want unedited WWE DVDs, now's probably the time to buy them. So check them out. Follow them on all social media to search Music City Toys. And I hope you can join us on May the 1st in Waterton, Tennessee. And then last but never least, shout out to my brother, Brian Jensen. Shout out to my Brian brother, Jensen. We have
Brian brother.
my Brian brother. He is at Boxing ATL on Instagram. He can help you reach your goals, whether you're looking to lose weight, throw hands, get in better shape, compete at an amateur or professional level in MMA or any other kind of sports, boxing, kickboxing, whatever it is. If you are athletic now, or maybe you have a neurological issue, or maybe you're overweight, or whatever it is, unactive. It doesn't matter what your skill level is, how heavy you are, whatever. Brian can help you. So he can help you in person in Atlanta, Georgia. He has a gym. He can meet you in a park. He can meet you at your business. or he can help you online through Skype sessions and Zoom calls. The best way to book sessions with him is to just message him on Instagram. Once again, Boxing ATL. Shoot him a direct message. Say that me and Jessi sent you his way. Promise, as you know, it's the same with all of our sponsors. If you give them a heads up that me and Jessi or how you heard about what they got going on, I promise you get really, really good deals. And then also, you know, big shout out to independentwrestling.tv. They are not doing the free 5 days right now because it's collective weekend, and you know that's how all these talents get paid.
I was wondering if they were gonna. I figured that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like I wish that I could offer the 5 days free for anybody that's new to the subscription, but with all the shows that they run, with all the promotion, with all the costs and all the charges to book wrestlers, they need the money right now to make sure everybody gets paid fair for WrestleMania weekend, which totally makes 100% sense. But if you use the code Fight Talk, you still do support the show. So I still do get a percentage if you do use the code. It does still support, and you still get to watch amazing pro wrestling and the whole back catalog.
Support independent wrestling.
Yes, and also support GCW and the collective over at Fight TV. We got 2 sets of amazing shows going on right now on both services. Support independent wrestling, and follow me on Twitter at FightTalk _ FIGHTTALK _. And thanks everyone for joining. Corey's out here saying really, really nice stuff. It's Brian with a B, Corey. Brian Jensen. I actually have a stepbrother named Ryan too, so with our R. So
that's
it's
funny.
Very, very confusing a lot of the time when our family's around. But thank y'all so much for joining. Anything left from you, Jessi, before we get out of here?
No, just I hope everyone enjoys WrestleMania, and I hope everyone's been having a fun WrestleMania week. I'm having hella FOMO because I live near Tampa, so. But hey, I got a baby to take care of, so. But I hope everyone has a wonderful WrestleMania weekend. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this stream. It makes me happy.
Yes, me too. We're gonna keep trying to bring this to y'all. You know, I do my show every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern with Doug now, so like. If there's any, if there's any of y'all who are, night owls and you want to hear us talking about wrestling, we tend to be not.
I've loved the clips, by the way, on Twitter.
Thank you. We're trying to get more clips out there, bring some more awareness to the show, and that's kind of a less kind of PC version of what me and Jessi do. We aren't quite as nice about certain things, because it's like the late night. You know what I mean? It's kind of like an after dark type show. Exactly. Yeah. So. If you like, I love it because like I get both ends of the spectrum. I get to do this show where it's mainly positive and we're talking about the really nice, good things going on in wrestling, and then Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, me and Doug just go in on stuff that we don't like a lot of the time. Thursday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. We're moving the streams to Thursdays so we can do the Impact watch-alongs that were on Tuesdays because Impact's moving from Tuesday to Thursday. So
that's right. So
Thursday is going to be a big week or a big night of the week for me if y'all want to continue with the stuff we got going on because Thursdays is going to be from 8 to 10 Eastern is going to be twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming, Impact Wrestling. Then 10 p.m. till usually about 1 in the morning. I mean, we do like 2.5 to 3 hours pretty consistently. So, late night on Thursdays, all things MMA if you like mixed martial arts. Fight Talk Podcast, give us a thumbs up or a like, a subscription, a follow, good comments, good ratings, all that stuff helps out a ton. And Fightful Select Weekender Podcast, check it out, Fightful.com, part of their Patreon service. So, yeah, I'll try to keep everything going on over on Twitter, _. Thank you all very much for listening. Use code Jessi25. That still works over at Papa John's.
That's right. Pizza. If you want pizza, Papa John's, Jessi25.
Perfect timing, too. This is WrestleMania. If you want to just hang out, drink some beer, do whatever else you want to do and not have to worry about driving, order yourself some Papa John's. Yes, order yourself some Papa John's. Jessi25. Save, is it 25% off?
25% off, yeah.
I've used the code multiple times. It's great. So, so that's going to do it. We'll be back sometime soon. We'll try to keep you all updated. Make sure you're liking the videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And make sure you're following both of us on Twitter. Because that way you'll know when we're going live. Because our schedule is a bit random. Especially with everything Jessi has going on at the moment. So, that all being said,